Let's have a look at some of the other stories coming into the newsroom, shall we?
And some breaking news this morning, actually. The Met Office have arrested 5 men on suspicion of preparing a terrorist act. Counter-terror officers detained the men, 4 of whom we're told are Iranian nationals.
Marked the 18th anniversary of her disappearance ahead of what would have been her 22nd birthday. In a statement, her parents have said their determination to leave no stone unturned is unwavering. After jokingly suggesting he would like to be the next pope by posting an AI-generated image of himself on social media. You can see it on your screens there. The US president published the AI-generated image dressed in papal regalia on his Truth social platform. This came just 11 days after.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever you are listening from across the world. You are tuned in to the Mr. Freemason live stream. Thank you for joining me for another live stream. Sorry, I will get my words out at some point today. I apologise that I wasn't able to make yesterday. Unfortunately, I had some sad news that one of my friends had passed away last week, sadly at the age of only 67, and her funeral was today. So God bless her and hope she sleeps and rests in peace. But sadly, that's just the way life goes. So today is Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025, which gives us a 6th day of home and family, and also a life path number of 20, which is then broken down into 11. So today we will be covering Virginia Defray, the terror attack raid, Mark Carney, VE Day, Madeleine McCann, and a slight bit on Donald Trump. So first of all, we'll do what we normally do, which is a roll call. So if you'd like to drop down in the chat section where everybody is listening from, and we will get on with the show shortly. Shout out to you, Wiz. Thanks for joining us for another live stream. I hope you've been doing well and looking after yourself. I hope you've learned more from the book, and if there's anything that you'd like to add to the show today with regards to numerology or what you found yourself, that goes for yourself or anybody else that's watching and listening out there, and please drop down in the chat section anything you've noticed with regards to numerology astrology. So if you're new here at the channel, like I said, we like to explore numerology astrology, see how it applies to the matrix and decode situations around us. These kind of things that we explore are things such as catastrophic world events, crime and news, also rituals, Freemasonry, and also symbolism. So the numbers to always look for in numerology astrology are the usual numbers, which are 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 19, 22, 23, and last of all, 33. So as we go through the video today, you will notice these numbers come up quite regularly. The number that's always coming up quite regularly in news articles is the number 3. This is because the third letter of the alphabet is C, and criminal also starts with C. So when you see things in the news, these will normally be on the 12th, because 1 and 2 equals 3, or they will usually be on the 3rd. These will be anything from court appearances to people being charged, to corruption, and even such things as the church. So anything that refers to the letter C. So today's going to be an absolute banger of a show for you today. I'd like to shout out to the subscribers and the viewers for suggesting the topics and leaving your messages that you've left in the comments. Thank you very much for that. So I've taken note of what you've said, and today we will be covering, like I've said, Virginia Defray and also Mark Carney. Hopefully in this live stream, if you had any doubts about numerology astrology and if it actually does work and how it's applied to the matrix, I think this live show is going to absolutely blow you away. So thanks very much with regards to them topics, and a big shout out to you people who suggested it. Evening, Simon. How are you? I don't know if you was here. Was you here at the live stream last time, or did you miss us? I know you was at the other previous one before, wasn't you? So thank you for joining us again anyway. Hope you've been doing well. And if there's anything you've learned about numerology yourself or spotted, like I said at the beginning of the stream, please drop it down in chat and we will discuss it and go through it and see if we can break down and decode the matrix. So it's going to be a very interesting one, this live stream, especially with Virginia Defray and Mark Carney, who is the new Canadian president. And you're going to see exactly how numerology astrology works with regards to born on date energy and also life path energies, and how they correspond to different countries, especially with Virginia Defray and also Mark Carney. He will also explain and break down to you exactly what is going on between Mark Carney with Canada and also Donald Trump. So we've got a few more people joining us. I'll give it just a couple more seconds and then we will jump into the video and get going. So like I said at the beginning of the stream, today is the 6th of May 2025, which gives us a 6th day of home and family. The 6th letter of the alphabet is F, stands for family. You'll find the royal family themselves tend to do things on 6 days, such as coronations, events such as also the King's coronation. The King and the Queen's coronation, I believe, were both done on the 6th. Diana's funeral was also held on September the 6th. And there's many other also events surrounding the royal family that are held on 6 days. Even if they're not held on 6 days, they will be held on days that add up to 6, such as the 15th, which is 1 and 5 equals 6, which just so happens to be Prince Harry's birthday. I'll just drop the background music down a bit and we'll get straight into the video. Okay, so let's get going. So first of all, we're going to turn our attention to Virginia Defray, the woman who was responsible for taking Prince Andrew to court and suing him. There was quite a lot of speculation with regards to the amount of money that Virginia Defray was paid by Prince Andrew. It wasn't actually paid by Prince Andrew, just to make you aware. It's actually paid by the Queen as the Queen's gift to Prince Andrew before her passing. This is why you will find he wasn't left any inheritance money as such, apart from the cottage I believe that he lives in. But she also cleared the money with regards to Virginia Defray. Now, the figures that we were given were 12 million, 13 million, or even 15 million. What I'm actually going to disclose to you is actually 44 million, exactly the same as Elon Musk paid for Twitter or X. He paid 44 billion. The reason that they paid him 44s is because 4 and 4 equals 8, the number of money. 8 is also the number of karma and also the number of religion. So the news broke of Virginia Defray had a car accident and a collision with a bus. Now, from the reports of the bus driver, this was a minor collision and only a backlight was broken from the pictures that were shown. This was also shown at the beginning of the title of this live stream, if you'll see. So at the very beginning of the title stream, you'll see the broken, smashed rear backlight, which is red. This was part of the collision. So the actual events that she told was not as bad as what it was. And from the collision and reflecting her injuries, they don't match up. Now we've got some pictures of Virginia Defray. Virginia Defray, sorry. When we go through the pictures, I want you to pay attention to her clothing. And this will give you an inkling and an idea kind of that she might have been a plant or even an insider or even part of the fraternity. So the news broke of the accident was on March the 31st this year. The 31st is 3 and 1 added together equals the number 4. As we know in numerology, 4 stands for the number of law and order, which is why you'll find the 4th letter of the alphabet is D, and D can be applied to law and order, such as defence, defendant, and many other words that go along with the letter D. And another example of the number 4, and this will come in later on in the live stream with regards to Donald Trump and the announcement of his AI image of being the next Pope, because that date that it falls on exactly the same and matches up with regards to numerology. So she then made an announcement that she had 4 days left to live. So with this, we're going to get into the video and then we can decode the matrix. So she says she had 4 days to live on April the 3rd. As we know, 4 is the number of law and order. The 4th letter, like I've said, of the alphabet is D, and death also stands and starts with D. Virginia DeFray comes to 13 letters. The 13th letter of the alphabet is M, and we know that M obviously stands for money and manipulation. It also stands for manifestation. This can also be applied to the number 9, as it has traits with regards to the number 13 and the letter M. And but 9s tend to have a few more traits added to them. So number 9s are people that learn lessons the hard way, unfortunately, give very good advice but don't take it themselves. So they have many traits with regards to the letter, the 13th letter being M. 9s can be also known to be manipulators and manifestation. Couple of examples of people who are born under 9s. So you might have heard of the English investigator, ex-policeman Mark Williams Thomas. He was involved in the Jay Slater case, also with the Nicola Bulley case, and also the Madeleine McCann case. And so he was in the limelight and obviously told the narrative and was able to manipulate the story. Another person who's born on a 9-day is Tommy Robinson. And we know by the information that he can give out how he can influence people to manipulate them to do what he would like to do, as in the sense of protesting, as we were seeing with the Stockport attacks. So we turn our attention back to Virginia DeFray. She was born on August the 9th, 1983. So she was born on a 9-day. Like I've just said, people who learn lessons the hard way, they're very good at manifestation and manipulation. So it's just very coincidental that Virginia DeFray comes to 13 letters, and she's also born on a 9-day of manifestation and manipulation. So she was born on August the 9th, 1983. Well, this year is the year of the snake. And we know that the enemy sign of the snake is the pig. So if we take a look at Virginia DeFray's birthday, we take the 9 and we take the August, which is the 8th month. So we add the 9 and the 8 together. That gives us the 17. We then take 1983. So we'll add the 1 with the 9 plus the 8 plus the 3 gives us 21. So when we add the 17 and the 21 together, it gives us a combined number of 38. So 3 plus 8 equals the number 11. The 11th letter of the alphabet is also K, and you will find events surrounding crime and people passing are surrounded by the number 11. An example of this was the Stockport attack at Axel Rudabakana. That event actually happened on an 11-day. I don't remember specifically if it happened on the 11th, but I do know that the calculations in numerology astrology come to 11. So you'll find events in crime surrounding people passing or people taking other people's lives. The number 11 will be reflected in this at some point, along also with the number 3, which represents crime and also the criminal. So she lost her life and passed on the 25th of April this year, 2025. So the 25th is 2 plus 5. That gives us a 7-day. The 7th letter of the alphabet is G. G stands for the genius. So if we take the 25th and April, and obviously change the April into a number, and add the 2 and the 5 and the month together, gives us an 11, plus 2025 added together gives us 9. When you add these together, this gives you 20. Now, there's no such thing as a 20 life path. So the two's actually broken down into two separate ones because you never carry zeros, as they have negative energy and carry no energy themselves. So Virginia DeFray was born on August the 9th, 1983, and born under 11 life path. She passed on April the 25th, 2025, and that day was also an 11 life path. Like I said, she was born in 1983, year of the pig, which is the enemy sign of the snake. And if you want to go and delve even deeper into this, she was born in California and she then moved to Florida. And Florida was founded on the 7th of February, 1845, which is a snake year, the enemy sign of the pig year, which is what Virginia DeFray was born under. And if you think that's crazy, it gets a lot more deeper yet. So stay with us, and there's a lot more to delve into. Shout out to you, Melanie. Thank you for joining us again. You asked me a question before, Melanie, I believe it was you, when you said with regards to people's passing and whether their age was relevant. I would say that the age is not the only specific thing. So I'd say it's probably one of the key factors. So if you was to see the date the age of somebody's passing, that could kind of be added one piece to the puzzle to make the whole puzzle, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't just go off the passing of the age. I'd look for the other numbers surrounding it with regards to what happened or what other letters correspond to numerology astrology. Like I've just said, how she's born under a pig year energy and we're in the year of the snake, which is the opposite sign. And she just happened to move to Florida, which was founded in a snake year, which is also her enemy sign. She'd also posted tweets and statuses about 3 months ago saying that she wasn't feeling suicidal.
I started crying right away. I'm still crying. I can't believe that this is happening. It's impossible. And then for them to say that she committed suicide, there's no way that she did. Somebody got to her. I started crying.
So that was the father of Virginia DeFray. Like she stated, she said she had 4 days to live. We know that 4 is the number of law and order. So did she know that somebody was coming, or did she know that something was coming? I'd like you to pay attention as well to the timestamp of this news article, or the date. I don't think it's this one. It might be the next picture. But from what I can remember, it was maybe it was 11:33, the timestamp of the posting of the news article. This was just one, but there were several. So here it is. Sorry. So it was updated. Sorry, at 13:30 on the 3rd of April. I don't think you could make that up, could you? Even if you tried. It was also done and reported by a guy called Andrew Young. So the story and the narrative we were given about Virginia DeFray was obviously a smokescreen, because there was no way that the injuries that she suffered from a minor collision reflected that she'd suffered to her face. And there was no possibility or way that the injuries that she sustained would have took her life within 4 days. Yeah, 2020, you're right. Shout out to you, Simon. Well spotted on that. 2020. 2020, also another 4-year number of law and order when we got lockdowns. So we'll move forward in a minute, and we'll move forward and have a look at the terror attacks. Like I said, I wanted you to pay attention to some of the photos of Virginia DeFray. Here she's wearing a lovely piece of clothing and article, which is a lovely pinstriped black and white. And if you know and you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that this isn't unfamiliar to these people. They'll wear black and white checkered overcoats. I believe Kim Kardashian's probably the most famous one for wearing black and white. They've even got a black and white floored checkered board in their house, if you've seen photos. They're actually quite well known as members of the Eastern Star. And if you don't know what that is, then you can go back and watch the last previous stream that I did, and it will explain everything of the Witches of the Eastern Star and who they are and how it relates to Katy Perry and also the Blue Origin rocket launch. So like I said, this is Virginia Defray's birthday. She was born on August the 9th, 1983. 1983 being a pig year, the enemy year of the snake this year, which is why she ended up losing her life. I will point this out to you as well. So when you have people who pass, whether they be public figures or celebrities, or even such a person as Virginia Defray, although she wasn't a celebrity, she was well known and in the media for obviously the story with Prince Andrew. There was another bit that I was going to touch on with regards to her, but I'll probably come back to that in a minute. Oh, sorry, that was what I was going to say with regards to people's passing. Sorry. So when there's suspicious circumstances, should we say, or acts of nefarious activities where people are passed under strange circumstances, so to speak, when they tend to pass in their own energy year, they tend to pass and there's no suspicion. And it's normally a natural passing with no investigation and no mysteriousness surrounding it, should we say. An example of this is Tina Turner. Tina Turner was born under the cat energy and she passed in 2023, which is a cat year, and there was nothing suspicious about that. But then you had Matthew Perry, who's born a rooster, who also passed in 2023, a cat year, which is actually the enemy sign of the rooster. And he passed away in a hot tub that we were told was natural passing, but then for only a year later for it to be discovered that it was nefarious and not natural at all. So this is how we can come to the conclusion of the passing of Virginia Defray is not legit and it's nefarious, and there are other people involved, because this is how they communicate between each other using numbers. This is why why numbers first came before the English alphabet. The alphabet was then attached to numbers, which is why you'll find the English language on every signboard in every country, because it was based off the back of numbers. So then we turn our attention to the terror raids that also happened on the 4th of May, the number of law and order. There were 4 Iranians. It happened, they arrested 5 people, and they were arrested under the Terrorism Act, strangely enough, of Section 5. There was also 8 arrested, I believe, so altogether, because there was a second raid. And obviously with regards to the Section 5 of the Terrorism Act, it goes back to 2006, and 2 and 6 equals 8. So there it goes, just goes to show you that numerology astrology applies to news articles and crime.
And some breaking news this morning, actually. The Met Office have arrested 5 men on suspicion of preparing a terrorist act. Counter-terror officers detained the men, 4 of whom we're told are Iranian nationals.
So we also know that 5 is the number of travel. Now, they just mentioned terrorism as well. So there's a correlation between the letter T, and also these people would have had to travel to come here, and I'm sure that they would have travelled to go and carry out whatever act they were going to carry out. So we're now going to turn our attention to Mark Carney, who is the new Canadian president. He's a very interesting character. He replaced Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, most of the basis of him resigning so quickly is because Justin Trudeau is born under the energy of the pig, which is the enemy sign of the snake this year. So maybe he knew that it was time to lay low and get out while he could, because he knew that the year ahead was not going to be fulfilled with lots of pleasurable things, so to speak. And we know that because we can just take a look at what happened to Virginia Defray. And you can also take a look at Donald Trump, who was born under the energy year of the dog, which is the enemy sign of the dragon last year, which is why Donald Trump nearly lost his ear. So as we turn our attention to Mark Carney, he was born on the 16th, so 1 and 6 equals 7, the number of the genius. He appears to be quite a smart and intellectual man. He was born on the 16th of March, 1965. So if we take his birthday, the 16th, and we take the month of March, which is 3, and we add them together, it gives us a 10. And then we take the year, which is 1965, and that gives us 31 altogether. So it gives us 21 and it gives us 10. So we add them together and it gives us 31. So we take the 3 and the 1, we add them together, and that also gives us a number 4, a number of 4 of law and order. He was also sworn in March this year, 2025. Now, as we know, 2025 is a 9 year, which is for beginning and endings. So it'll be when cycles start and when the completion of cycles end, which will bring us on to Madeleine McCann soon. So an interesting fact about Mark Carney, and this is why I don't think things are going to go too great for him when it comes to being the leader of Canada. Mark Carney is born 1965, and he comes under the animal sign of the snake, which is the same energy year of this year, which is why Mark Carney has stepped into place, because people under their own energy year tend to shine and outdo many others, and you'll find that things come to you very easily and kind of fall into place and sync. Now, the reason that I think he's going to struggle with being the president of Canada is because Canada was founded in 1863, which is a pig year, so it's his enemy sign, and it's also the enemy sign of this year, which is also the snake. So Mark Carney is born under the energy year of the snake, and he is dealing with Canada, which is the enemy year of the pig. So we've got 2 cases that we've come across today already, which is Virginia Defray, who was born under the energy year of the pig, and she's lost her life in her enemy year of the snake. And we've also got Mark Carney, who's now stepped into place to take over Canada, who's born under the energy year of the snake, yet Canada was founded under the energy year of the pig. Well, to be honest with you, Simon, when you say regards to Donald Trump and his ear, he didn't lose part of his ear, skimmed his ear, so to speak. But he must be the quickest recovering patient that I've ever known, because he had a patch on his ear for about 1 day. And if you take a look, there doesn't seem to be any damage to his ear these days. So he doesn't seem to have any damage or any pieces of the ear missing. So, yeah, with regards to the scripted, yeah, I think you might have been on the right track with that. Also, we did a video before where we found out that the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, the person that tried to carry it out, then you had the second attempt at the golf course. And we also here in the UK had Axel Rudabakana. Oh, and we also had the Magdeburg German market, where the gentleman drove his car into a crowd full of people. So yeah, so you had all them kind of events kind of happen, and how numerology were applied to them, but also the fact that all these attacks that were done and by these 4 people had been on TV or been on adverts for BlackRock. Axel Rudabakana had been on an advert for Children's BBC. So the 4 people related to the 4 specific crimes had actually already been on TV. So when they say to you that they are aware of these people, but they didn't know about them, the reason that they're aware of them is because they've already been employed by them in the previous instances to appear on TV. And another interesting fact that came to light was the fact that they didn't want to release the details of who was responsible for the Stockport attack, because it then came to light that the father of Axel Rudabakana, whose asylum seeker claim was put to the courts, it was actually Keir Starmer that dealt with that case and allowed him to stay. So these people do know each other, and it does go back a long, long way further than what you know. What I will do in the next live stream, because a few of you have asked me, and I touched on this a bit before in the last live stream, was regards to reincarnation or people playing different roles. I said that people can play several different roles at the same time in their lifetime, or there was such thing as slice cloning, where they will bring people such who are important back in historic times and bring them back to relive another life cycle in yet again another position of power or importance. Yeah, they can be known as lifetime actors or also crisis actors. There's actually a website that's available to hire crisis actors when I looked into this. So you can actually hire people for these scenarios in events, which is madness. So we'll move on in a bit. We'll come to VE Day and also Madeleine McCann. Just before I go any further, I'll just turn my attention to people in chat. Is there any questions anybody would like to ask, or is there anything that you would actually like to add to the stream? So like I said at the beginning of the live stream, if there's anything you noticed yourself, whether it be numerology, astrology, or any other suspicious circumstances, then you're more than welcome to contribute and add towards the show, and drop your comment down in the chat section. So these are the dates of the year of the pig. So we said Virginia de Frey, born 1983. As you can see, 1983 is one of the years. Logan Paul is also born a pig year. So he doesn't want to be taking on any boxing matches this year because he won't win them. And the thing is, with your enemy year, it goes like on many things with numerology, astrology. It's not gospel. It's not going to apply to everything 100% of the time. This is a percentage game, which is why these people apply numerology, astrology to their life, because it kind of works in their favor and works with the odds rather than against them. So to turn our attention to Madeleine McCann, the news also broke on the 4th of Madeleine McCann's case, and how they announced that it had been 18 years since she disappeared. Now 18, 1 and 8 equals 9 again. Beginning and endings are cycles. So I've got a funny feeling that this year they might actually wrap the Madeleine McCann case up. But saying that, they've just been granted more funding money for Scotland Yard of £107,000. So we don't really kind of know what that's going towards, or whether the McCanns will have some kind of influence. We know that the McCanns are very important people, especially when it comes to the royal family. They were 2 of the highest ranking doctors who performed operations on the royal family. Jerry McCann still works as a doctor, strangely enough. I won't say particularly where, but I will say that it is circulated around the Leicester area. But one thing I will point out, this refers back to Princess Diana. When Princess Diana passed, they embalmed her before she had an autopsy, which is against French law. Now, no French doctor would have carried out the autopsy because it would have been against French law. But this is not to say that an English doctor wouldn't. So my question would be to ask the McCanns, where were they the night that Princess Diana passed? Because it would explain a lot of how Jerry McCann was able to ring 10 Downing Street and get put through to Gordon Brown. If you tried to ring 10 Downing Street and speak to the Prime Minister, I think you'd struggle a bit. So they also mentioned that she would be 22 years of age now. Now we know 11, 22 and 33 are the master numbers. People who are 11s or 11 life path are old souls. They're kind of the first of the master numbers. You've then got 22, which is the master builder, the person who lays foundations, build businesses, bodybuilder. Second letter of the alphabet is B. So you've got 2, BB. Bodybuilder even refers to P. Diddy, Bad Boy Records, and so on. Now, Maddie begins with M, and McCann also begins with M. So the 13th letter of the alphabet, like I've referred to already, is the letter M. So we've got M and M, so we've got 13 and we've got 13. If you add the 13s together, that gives you 26, and 2 and 6 added together gives you 8, which is about money. They also mentioned in the news that it was Madeleine
McCann have marked the 18th anniversary of her disappearance ahead of what would have been her 22nd birthday.
So it's a Madeleine McCann parents' message. So there's another M in there for you. As we know, the Madeleine McCann case has been based and surrounded on money ever since day one. I also covered a video with regards to Madeleine McCann on the Just Gone Viral channel, which goes into depth of Sigmund Freud's son, Clement Freud, who was an MP, and how the villa was only down the road from them. It's quite an interesting video, so if you want to go and check that out, it's over on the channel at Just Gone Viral. You'll see the thumbnail for it. It's Jerry McCann and Kate McCann with a picture of Maddie. Notice the time as well that they did this news report. The time was 7:20. 7 plus 2 equals 9 as well. So you'll notice that they'll put stories out at certain times of the day. This is why you'll notice also 11 is the number of emotion, as well as the leader number, which is why you'll find Poppy Day is done on the 11th of the 11th, and all minute silences are done at 11 o'clock. They're also done for 2 minutes to silence. So we know that 11 plus 2 equals 13, the Mason's number. Yeah, with regards to your comment, Simon, the person, they were quite very well connected. They talk about the Tapas 7 that were there at the hotel. What they don't tell you about are the other guests that were staying there, such as BBC presenters, bankers, insurance, other doctors, many quite high-ranking people in society. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a couple of MPs there as well, to be honest with you. But they never explored that and spoke about that. There was a bit more of a sinister side to what was actually going on there. Now, whether they were part of some adult kind of club, if you know what I mean, and that's why they were all there, which is why they didn't want to kind of take care to the children, I'm not too sure. I do know that the guy that was suspicious was Robert Murat, who appeared on the scene and all of a sudden was the interpreter for the McCanns, until they delved into his past and found out he had a fascination not only with children but also animals, and then decided to have a brand new driveway laid of tarmac and had a skip on it, so when the police come to investigate his villa, they can investigate underneath the brand new fresh driveway. And all I'm going to do is leave it at that. So moving on a bit further, we'll look at Donald Trump. And with regards to his AI picture that came out of being the next Pope, this also came out on the 4th. This came out on the 4th of May. Donald Trump's life path number is born under 4, which is the number of law and order, which is why you find Donald Trump is very much for this. Very firm but fair. The 4th letter of the alphabet is also D, and Donald starts with D. They also said that it was only 11 days since the passing of the Pope before Donald Trump did this. So there's another 11 for you. So as we come towards the end of the show, is there any questions anybody would like to ask?
Okay, let's have a look at some of the other stories.
I will just touch on the VE Day in a minute, and Prince Louis, who seemed to be the centre of attention that day. This was also on the 5th of May, VE Day. I would have expected this actually to be today on the 6th of all days, as the royal family like to do things on 6 days. And that's why the number 6 is home and family, because you will find the royal family are at home and tend to hold events and public announcements and things like that on 6 days. So VE Day, it was the 80th anniversary. Like I've said and stated in this live stream already, 8 represents the number of money.
Stories coming into the newsroom, Shell.
So I'll go through the VE Day on the 5th of May 2025. The attention was focused around Prince Louis. Prince Louis was born on the 23rd of April 2018. So he was born on a 5 day. 2 and 3 equals 5, the number of travel. So if we take his birthday and we add it all together along with his year, altogether it gives us a number of 20. Now we know that we don't apply this as a life path number, so we drop the 0 and yet again split the 2 into 2 ones. So Prince Louis is actually an 11 life path, the same as his father, Prince William, and same as his father, King Charles. And I've done a video on this before also in a live stream, how all the royal family's births are done by C-section. They're not done by natural births. This is to make sure that they fall on certain dates and times. You will find most of the males in the royal family are born on 1 days, such as the 1st, the 10th, or even 11. And you will find even Princess Anne, I believe her birthday is on the 6th. So that's just another reference to the number 6 and the royal family. The reason that Prince Louis is being pushed into the limelight so much at the minute and focused on is because he's just turned 7. And like when Prince George turned 7, the focus was on him. Now, we know that the 7th letter of the alphabet is G, and 7 relates to being the genius, which is why Stephen Hawking was born under a number 7. What I've always believed when it comes to this age, and they said because he was being introduced to royal family life with events, and he spoke to a lot of the veterans. This is kind of the very first initiation age in kind of how things are run within the fraternity. Now, I'm not talking about the royal family and how things are run within the royal family. I'm talking about the scenario and the discussion we're having on the live stream right here, right now, which is to do with numerology astrology. So these children will be actually taught this at a very young age. And this is why I said at the age of 7, I believe this is the very first step they're kind of introduced into it. It's also a 5th day, and like I've said, the number 5 represents travel. There were red arrows that fly, which is to do with travel. There was also 5 of them, I believe. There was also horses, so that's also to do with travel. So that's with reference to VE Day on the 5th of May, Prince Louis, the number of travel, and also Prince Louis's life path of the number 11 and how it relates to his father, Prince William, and Prince William's father, King Charles. No, I haven't done anything on Keir Starmer yet, to be honest with you. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a note of this right now, because once I get off, my brain will go blank. Okay, that's a brilliant suggestion. Thank you for that. I'll tell you what I will do then. So we'll do in the next stream, I will cover Keir Starmer then, and we'll do a numerology astrology breakdown on him. That would be very interesting. If you've got any other suggestions, then please do leave them in the comment section afterwards. Or if you like to, you can drop them in the chat now and I'll make a note of them. We'll try and get another live stream in this week. I'll probably aim for Sunday, to be honest with you, just because it tends to work for people a lot better. People are able to actually make the time of 8 o'clock. So we'll probably do that for Sunday, and by then we'll probably have a bit more material to add, as this year of 2025, considering we're only in May, there's been so much that's happened so far. If we refer back to the 1st of January and even the 1st of February, that's when we had the accidents with the planes, and the first letter of the alphabet is A, which is why you have accidents. Also, a big shout out and thank you ever so much to those of you who've signed up to use the Numerology astrology app. If you'd like to sign up still, there's still time to obviously contribute if you'd like to. There's not very much time left because the tests are nearly done. But the feedback from it's been awesome. So thank you very much for those that have taken part and obviously confirmed and relayed information and feedback that the app works. So does the link and the other features on it. So thank you very much. And for some of you who haven't already, A lot of you will know this already, as I mentioned it quite a few times in other streams. If you want to go and grab yourself a copy of my book that I've got out, which is Breaking the Matrix, Numerology, Astrology, which is out on Amazon now. You can find a copy of that. It will have a blue cover with gold writing and a kind of gold wheel with numbers and the Vietnamese astrology animals surrounding it. So yeah, go and grab yourself a copy of that, and it will explain a lot more detail of some of the things we cover on here. Not only that, but if you read the book and you understand it, then when you watch these live streams, like Wiz, who's been absolutely awesome, she's even come out with some information that I've missed. So it's quite nice to even learn from other people that are learning. So I learn every day, which is what life's about. So on that note, you've been an absolute brilliant audience as always. I have been Mr. Freemason. Until the next live stream, take care of yourself, and I'm out of here.